What's up guys, welcome to the channel or welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a great video for you. I'm going to be giving you everything that you need to know about moving to or living in Walnut Creek. All the pros, all the cons, and I'm updating it for 2025. Let's jump right in and check it out. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is Walnut Creek's location and proximity. So Walnut Creek is located right at the intersection of Highway 680 and Highway 24, and that makes us very centrally located here in the East Bay. So whether you're trying to get to any of the just neighboring cities or towns like Lafayette, Martinez, Concord, Pleasant Hill, Alamo, Danville, San Ramon, you're just about a 10 to 12-minute drive from any one of these places. Now, more broadly within the Bay Area, we are about 22 miles from San Francisco. We are about 12 to 15 miles to Oakland, depending upon which part of Oakland we're trying to get to. And if we're heading south into San Ramon or Dublin, we are about 10 to 15 miles from either one of those cities. And the reason why I'm calling these cities out in particular, San Francisco, Oakland, Dublin, San Ramon, because these are generally major employment hubs for people that are living in Walnut Creek. And one of the other things that I really like to talk about that I haven't mentioned in some of my recent videos is proximity to other things and other places that you would like to go, and Walnut Creek is very centrally located for these as well. And so the first one I want to talk about is Napa and Sonoma, wine country. This is a very common weekend destination for people, and being in Walnut Creek makes it so that you have very easy access. So you can be in Napa in about 40 minutes, makes it great for a day trip or a weekend trip. Sonoma is just a little bit further, maybe about 50 minutes or an hour away, but you have very easy access to this wine country, and that's one of the things that people love about living in Walnut Creek. The other thing is if you're looking to get to Lake Tahoe, we are about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive into Lake Tahoe. So whether you want to head up to Lake Tahoe in the summer and you want to do some activities on the lake like boating, jet skiing, having a beach day, or you're going there in the wintertime for skiing and snowboarding, like I said, it's just about a 2.5 to 3 hour drive. And so you can absolutely wake up early, do a day trip, come back in the evening time, or of course Lake Tahoe is great for those weekend and long weekend trips. So being in very close proximity to Lake Tahoe as well as Napa is just one of the things that makes Walnut Creek so attractive. You can also be in Monterey or Carmel in about 2 to 2.5 hours. And so Walnut Creek's proximity to these destination locations is just something that you absolutely have to have on your radar. All right, so this will lead us right into talking about the commute. And that's one of the things that people love so much about Walnut Creek, especially people who are moving from San Francisco or even to Oakland. And of course, people who are moving here from out of state, they don't want to live in the city. They want to live in San Francisco. They want to live in the suburbs. Walnut Creek is such a great location for that because of the ease of commute. And so first, again, talking about the freeways, like I said, you have easy access to Highway 680 and Highway 24. And so if you are driving and you're trying to drive into San Francisco for your work, you're looking at anywhere between 45 minutes to call it an hour and 15 minutes depending upon the traffic. Some days it'll get a little bit worse than that, but on average, depending upon what time you're leaving, you will be able to get into San Francisco in about 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes. If you're looking to get into Oakland, Oakland is a much shorter commute. It's only about 30 minutes to get into Oakland, and again, that depends on what part of Oakland you're getting to. If your employment is taking you to San Ramon or Dublin, you're looking at about a 20 to 25 minute drive there. And I'm kind of including traffic, in that commute time for San Ramon or Dublin. There's not nearly as much traffic going to those locations, even though there is some, but not nearly as much as going into San Francisco or Oakland. But the easy access to the freeways and a reasonable commute is one of the things that makes Walnut Creek such an attractive place to live. On top of that, you also have the Walnut Creek BART station. And so if you're looking to take mass transit and you want to take the BART train into San Francisco or to Oakland, again, for San Francisco, you're looking at about a 40 to 45 minute BART ride. Into Oakland, it's about 20 to 25 minutes to get into those locations. And if you're thinking about going to San Ramon or Dublin, there is not a mass transit aside from taking the bus, but there's not any type of BART line that'll go into San Ramon or Dublin. So you will be looking at the drive and the drive time commutes for that. But definitely having that easy access to mass transit and to the freeways and reasonable commute times is one of the things that makes Walnut Creek such an attractive place. One of the drawbacks that you are going to find, as I've kind of been talking about it a little bit with the commute times, is traffic. You are definitely going to have traffic in Walnut Creek and pretty much throughout anywhere in the Bay Area, but definitely Walnut Creek will have its traffic, especially in the commute hours, in the morning times and in the evening commutes, especially on Highway 680 and Highway 24. They'll definitely have traffic. Even commuting within the city during certain hours, especially on major thoroughfares like Ignacio Valley Road or Treat Boulevard, as you're getting from some of those neighborhoods that are a little bit further away from the freeways, it can take an extra 15 minutes if you don't catch any of the stoplights. If you're getting lots of red lights and no greens, just be prepared. If you're not used to traffic, we'll have traffic in Walnut Creek or the Bay Area in general. If you live here in the Bay Area and you live in different parts of the Bay Area, you're probably already used to dealing with some traffic, but you're definitely going to have that out here in Walnut Creek and the East Bay, and so I want to have that on your radar as well. Okay, before we jump into the next topic, I want to take a quick second to introduce myself. My name is Adam Dobrinich, local real estate agent here in the Bay Area. As much as I love making these videos for you, I would love even more to be able to help you with your real estate needs. That number that's popping up below, I do answer all of my own phone calls, emails, text messages. Whether you're buying or selling, please don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to be a resource for you. With that being said, let's jump back into everything you need to know about living in Walnut Creek. All right, so let's jump into housing. I'm also going to talk about neighborhoods as well, but let's start with the housing options. Walnut Creek pretty much has something for everybody when it comes to housing. You have older ranch-style homes that sit on bigger lots. You have new construction where the homes are bigger, they sit on smaller lots. You have townhomes and condos. Some of the townhomes and condos are smaller and they're great starter homes. And then there's also big luxury condos as well that are even over 2,000 square feet. For the homes in Walnut Creek, you have pretty much every style, every size that you can possibly think of. You have single-story ranch-style homes. There are Eichler-style homes. There's larger two-story properties. So there's just really something for everybody. And so depending upon what you're looking for, you should be able to find it in Walnut Creek. Now, as of the recording of this video, it's the beginning of May 2025. The average price point in Walnut Creek is about $1.4 million. There's not a lot of inventory. There's just about a month's worth of inventory at this time. And so as far as the pricing goes, let's break it down a little bit. The $1.4 million range, you're gonna be looking at the ranch style properties that are single story, usually 3-bed, 1-bath, 3-bed, 2-bath. Some of them have 4 bedrooms, but that's not quite as common. These are the properties that you'll see that sit on a lot larger lot sizes, and they're in the older, more established neighborhoods. The price point does go up from there, so there are ranch style homes that are a little bit bigger and the price will go up from there. But when we think about the higher price point within Walnut Creek, we are thinking about the larger 2-story properties. This is where you're going to get 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Some of them, if they are in the older communities or the older neighborhoods, you will still get a lot size, but this is where you will also find some of the newer construction properties where the houses are bigger, they sit on the smaller lot sizes. And so this is where the price point is going to start getting closer to the 1.82 million and even go up from there. There are some properties that are below that average price point of 1.4 million, but there's not a lot of inventory when it comes to those types of properties, and oftentimes you will be looking at something that probably needs a bit of work to it. But again, depending upon what you're looking for, you will be able to find it in Walnut Creek. Now, when we're talking about the condos and the townhomes, as I mentioned before, there's lots of different options. So there's plenty of condos that you can find that are, call it 1,000 to 1,200 square feet. They'll be 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom. These condos will likely be around $600,000 or $700,000 as of this recording. There are also some larger townhomes that are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath. They're a little bit bigger square footage, and the price point for these will be somewhere around $900,000 to $1 million. And there are some larger condos. These are actually more newer construction. They're much bigger as far as the square footage that you get. Still, 3 bedrooms. Some of them have a little loft or an office to go with that. But for this, you're going to be looking at the price point of about 1.2 to 1.4, depending upon which condo community it is. And so, long story short, you've got lots of different options when it comes to housing. But hopefully, this gives you kind of a good overview of the different options and different price points that you can have for Walnut Creek. So with all the different kinds of housing and neighborhoods that Walnut Creek has to offer, one of the greatest parts about it is that it really gives you a great blend of urban and suburban lifestyle. With some of these neighborhoods and communities being so close to the downtown, it really gives you a great opportunity to walk out your front door and walk right into the downtown downtown, 5-10 minute walk, and kind of give you that urban lifestyle feel. But if you're really just looking for the suburbs, or you want to be a little bit further removed from the downtown, there are many of these neighborhoods that are a little bit further away that give you that true suburban neighborhood feel, but also just gives you a quick 10-minute drive to get into downtown. And so again, that's one of the things that is so fantastic about Walnut Creek, is giving you that blend of urban and suburban lifestyle. One of the drawbacks that does come with the housing is the affordability. That is one of the things you're going to get pretty much anywhere in the Bay Area, but is certainly something you're going to have in Walnut Creek, is the affordability factor. So that's definitely something that you have to keep in mind. As I mentioned, the average price point is about $1.4 million for a single family home. There are a few single family homes that are a little bit lower than that, but there are certainly a lot that go above that. So please keep that in mind. That is definitely something that it just goes with the territory here in the Bay Area, and especially with Walnut Creek, because it is such a desirable area and so many people are looking to move here. Now, let's talk about the neighborhoods. So there's lots of different neighborhoods within Walnut Creek, and all of them give you a little bit something different to offer. And so some of the neighborhoods like Buena Vista or Saranap or Homestead Howe, these neighborhoods are some of the most highly sought after neighborhoods in Walnut Creek because of their proximity to the freeway, their proximity to the BART station, and their proximity to downtown. Now, these are older neighborhoods, so you're going to find a lot of the older single family homes, ranch style properties that are single story, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. You'll find some 4 bedrooms, a little bit bigger square footage. But one of the things that's great about these neighborhoods is these are the neighborhoods where you get a little bit bigger lot size and you get a really great neighborhood vibe to these properties. So they're very family friendly. In these neighborhoods, we see a lot of first-time home buyers, people that are with young families or starting families tend to gravitate towards these neighborhoods. And then you have other neighborhoods like Northgate, which are a bit further away from the freeway, but again, one of the most desirable neighborhoods in all of Walnut Creek. This is where you're going to find some of the bigger homes, the 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-story homes. This is also where you will find good lot sizes still, even with the larger homes, but absolutely one of the most desirable neighborhoods in all of Walnut Creek. And so again, depending upon what you're looking for and depending upon where you want to be, you have a lot of great neighborhood options here. Now, one of the things that Walnut Creek is known for, and you certainly are going to feel it when you get into these neighborhoods, is that family friendly atmosphere and that real community type feel. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about a few of the neighborhoods. Obviously, it's not an extensive list of all the neighborhoods that Walnut Creek has to offer, but Walnut Creek is very well known for being family friendly and having a really great kind of community feel and community vibe within the neighborhoods. And so if that's something that you're looking for, if that's something that is important to you, Walnut Creek will absolutely have you covered if you are looking to connect with your community, connect with your neighbors, and really have that great family-friendly vibe. Okay, so let's shift gears into talking about Walnut Creek's downtown. So Walnut Creek's downtown is anchored by Broadway Plaza. It's an absolutely beautiful outdoor mall with all the name brand shopping that you can possibly think of, luxury brands and everything in between. It's a place where people come even from out of town for a Saturday to do some shopping, to walk around. It's a really fantastic area. But right outside of Broadway Plaza, you have lots of boutique shops and tons of restaurants. And so that's, again, it's one of the things that makes Walnut Creek's downtown so desirable. And the city has done an absolute job of making it an absolutely beautiful area. So as you make your way onto Main Street, which is adjacent to Broadway Plaza, you're going to find a great mixture of boutique shops and restaurants. And it's a great place to walk up and down. You will find some live music there, really great restaurants with outdoor patios, and like I said, those boutique shops that give you something a little bit different than what you're going to find in Broadway Plaza. As you make your way one street parallel to Main Street, you will have Locust Street, and Locust Street, in my opinion, is Restaurant Row. You have tons of different restaurants there, all different kinds of cuisines, and the great thing is there's very few chains, so you do get a great mixture of some very, very cool restaurants and pretty much any type of food that you want. Again, same thing, lots of outdoor patios, beautiful indoor dining restaurants as well, and so pretty much something for everybody. Now, one of the things that I really want to call out for this 2025 update here is the fact that there are lots of great restaurants from San Francisco, which, as we all know, San Francisco is a fantastic foodie city. We are starting to see some of the restaurants from out there opening up second or third locations in Walnut Creek. So right now, Original Joe's is just getting ready to open. you have Limon Rotisserie, you have Slice House, which is Tony's Pizza. So these are really some fantastic restaurants that have tons of name recognition in San Francisco that are coming out here and starting to open up locations. And so if you're moving from San Francisco, it kind of makes you feel at home a little bit, but for the people that live here in Walnut Creek that maybe have never lived in San Francisco, these are fantastic additions to the community. And aside from that, like I said, lots of new restaurants that are opening up all the time. And like I said, it really just creates to that atmosphere downtown. There's a lot of energy, a lot of buzz, tons of people walking around all the time. There's a new food hall that's slated to open up, which is going to be a European style food hall, which if you've ever been to Denver, you walk into some of these food halls where you have different vendors that are popping up in there, different breweries, things like that. That is what this European food hall is going to be like. The other thing that the downtown has to offer is the Leisure Center. Now, the Leisure Center is a fantastic events venue where you have all different kinds of events happening, from symphonies to plays to concerts to comedy. So with the Leisure Center, you're going to get your performing arts as well. And the next thing that I want to call out for Walnut Creek are the events. And this kind of goes with the downtown because Walnut Creek is really well known for hosting some fantastic events throughout the year. Just to name a couple, they have their Arts and Wine Festival. Now, even though the Arts and Wine Festival is not hosted downtown, it's actually hosted at Heather Farms Park, which I'll be talking about the parks here in a little bit, but Heather Farms Park is basically one of the largest parks in Walnut Creek and is an amazing place to host an event like the Arts and Wine Festival. But the downtown also has very cool events that are happening throughout the year, as well as their farmers market. They do an Oktoberfest downtown. Broadway Plaza has a summer concert series. So there's just always something kind of happening downtown. And so if events are what you're looking for, you're definitely going to get a lot of that with Walnut Creek as well. And as I mentioned, that farmers market. The farmers market is also hosted downtown, and it is every single Sunday. And so we absolutely have to call out the events that Walnut Creek does a great job of putting on throughout the year. All right, so let's shift gears and let's talk about the schools. Now, as a real estate agent, the Department of Real Estate doesn't like us talking about schools. They don't like us talking about which are the best schools, which are the worst schools, which ones to avoid, all those different kind of things. So just like I say in all of my videos, do your own due diligence, use the resources that you have available to you, like greatschools.org, niche.com, Neighborhood Scout. These are all great resources so that you can get a really good sense of what the different schools have to offer, see if it meets what you're looking for. But one of the things that we can absolutely say is if you look on any one of those sites, you will see that the Walnut Creek schools are very highly rated. They're some of the most highly rated in all of California. So if you are looking for highly rated schools, you're definitely going to get that in Walnut Creek. But that is absolutely one of the things that has made Walnut Creek so desirable for families that are moving here is the education system. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are the outdoor activities and the parks. So let's start with the outdoor activities. So Walnut Creek is located very close to lots of different kind of outdoor spaces that you can utilize to do your outdoor activities. So first, Walnut Creek basically backs up to Mount Diablo State Park, and so it's very easy to get to if you want to do some hiking, some biking, even some camping. Mount Diablo is a great option for that. You can get into Mount Diablo in 10 or 15 minutes from just about anywhere in Walnut Creek. You also have Briones Regional Park, which is also very close to Walnut Creek. This is a smaller regional park compared to Mount Diablo State Park, but is also amazing for getting out and doing a weekend hike with the family or getting out with your significant other and getting some exercise. You'll see lots of people hiking, walking, jogging throughout that park. There's even some horseback riding that you can do up there. The other great thing about Walnut Creek, as well as all the other neighboring cities and kind of spread out through our Contra Costa County, are the trails that are interspersed throughout the cities. Like the Iron Horse Trail is a really good example for that. These are paved trails that are interspersed kind of throughout the neighborhoods that you can very quickly get to. Great place to walk the dog, go for a walk, go for a jog. Like I said, these are paved trails interspersed throughout the city, but you can go all the way from Walnut Creek all the way down to San Ramon and Dublin on the Iron Horse Trail. And so there's really pretty much something for everybody when it comes to having the outdoor activities. The other thing is if you're into fishing, there's some great spots that you can do some fishing. You can do fishing at Heather Farms Park. You can also do fishing at the Lafayette Reservoir, which is very, very close by. On the Lafayette Reservoir, you can also rent kayaks and things like that. And that's really about 15 minutes away from pretty much everywhere you are in Walnut Creek. So there's just a lot to do around here as far as outdoor activity goes. There are also some public pools, like Larky Park Pool, for example, that a lot of families like to go to throughout the summer, get the kids into the water, cool down on the hot summer days. And so like I said, there's just a lot to do, something for everybody when it comes to outdoor activities. Walnut Creek also has many beautiful parks. As I mentioned a couple times, Heather Farms Park, that's actually where I'm recording this video right now, is in Heather Farms Park. It is a huge park with a lake, tons of grass and open space. There's a massive playground that a lot of parents like to bring their kids to here. And these types of parks are all over the place in Walnut Creek. You have Larky Park, again, a very, very large park with tons of green open space to do picnics, read a book, big playground there. Like I said, the Larky Park pool is there. You have Civic Park that is downtown, which is a bit of a smaller park, but again, another great place with a large play structure, lots of picnic tables. That's also where the city of Walnut Creek puts their ice rink, which is one of the great activities and events that happens during the holiday season, is at that Civic Park. And so I'm just calling out a few of the parks. There's also some smaller parks within a lot of the neighborhoods in Walnut Creek. But if having great access to parks is something that you're looking for, Walnut Creek will definitely have you covered. Okay, the last two things that I want to talk about on this video are the local shopping centers, and then I also want to talk about the weather. Let's start by talking about some of the local shopping centers, because Walnut Creek is a bit of a bigger city, and as I've mentioned, some of these neighborhoods within Walnut Creek are also a bit spread out. One of the things that's great is that you don't necessarily have to go into downtown to do your shopping or to get to restaurants. A lot of the local shopping centers that have been anchored around some of these really fantastic neighborhoods that Walnut Creek has, they give you great access to your grocery stores like Safeways, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. They are around in these local shopping centers, but there's also lots of restaurants in these shopping centers. And so, like I said, if you don't want to go to downtown, but let's say it's a random Wednesday night, but you just want to get out for something quick to eat, a lot of these local shopping centers have some amazing restaurants that you can go to in order to get a quick bite with the family or just get out for yourself. So that's one of the things that I definitely wanted to call out, is that the city just has all of these other incredible little shopping centers and pockets throughout the city that really allowed you to get to the amenities that you need without having to go all the way into downtown. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is the weather. And so if you are moving here from San Francisco or even Oakland, or obviously if you're coming from out of state and you're curious about the weather, what you're going to find in Walnut Creek is hot summer days. So in the summer, the temperatures will get into the 90s, even the hundreds. And so you're definitely going to get much warmer weather out here in Walnut Creek compared to especially places like San Francisco, where the weather is just generally cooler. But in the summer, you're definitely going to get your 90s and 100s. So be prepared for that, because once you get through the Caldecott Tunnel and over the Oakland and Berkeley Hills, it does get much warmer out here. That also does leave you with lots of beautiful, warm summer nights. And so that's one of the things that I personally love the most about being out here, especially for somebody who lived in San Francisco for more than a decade, are those warm summer nights and being able to be out in the evenings and not feeling like you're freezing. And so that's something you're looking for. You'll have that in Walnut Creek. Now, on the flip side, in the wintertime, it does get cold in Walnut Creek. And so at night in the winter, you're looking at 40s. Sometimes it'll get down into the 30s. During the day, it'll be in the 50s, and usually like low 60s. That's where it'll cap out. Most of our rain happens in the wintertime. There is some spring rain as well, but usually the majority of it is during the winter time. During the spring and fall, you get those beautiful transitional seasons. Actually, the fall here, like October, is my favorite time of the year here. You get all the changing colors of the leaves. You still get nice warm days and some beautiful evenings as well. And so it's not as hot compared to the summertime. And so it's just really, really beautiful weather there in the fall. And then in the spring, you get all the leaves coming back. You get nice warm days. It still stays pretty cool in the evening times, but the days do start to warm up into the upper 60s, low 70s, and the occasional 80s in the springtime. And so you really do get a nice version of all four seasons here in the East Bay. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that we called that out as the last topic that we talked about. Okay, so that wraps up our 2025 updated video. Everything that you need to know about living in or moving to Walnut Creek, California, pros and cons. I hope you found this video helpful. If I can be a resource for you, as I mentioned, I do answer all of my own phone calls, emails, text messages. I would love to help you with your real estate needs, whether you are buying or selling. Please do not hesitate to reach out. And with that being said, I will catch you on the next video. Have a great week.